Yes. Welcome inside our CBS Sports Studios. I'm Adam Shine, alongside my guy, the great Kyle Long. And Kyle, my goodness, Drake May, Mike Vrabel, the New England Patriots go on the road on CBS in Tampa against a really good, well-put-together, well-coached Buccaneers team and absolutely took care of business today. May was impressive, defense impressive, receivers, run game impressive. Total team win today for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, and this New England Patriots team, they were so far ahead of schedule in terms of success. And obviously the culture was there, but Drake May coming along. You've seen the receiver position become a real strength for the New England Patriots, and then the defense stepping up in big spots. But today was as Vrabel-esque a win as you can imagine.
Love
Look,
that.
Going into halftime, he elects to keep knocking at the door of the end zone. Drake May connects with Stephon Diggs, high point touchdown, fourth down, gotta have it situation. That's confidence, Adam. That's confidence in your team saying, no, we're not going to take the 3 because I know my guys are good enough to get the 7. That 7 ended up helping that football team out at the end of the game. And it's just Drake May being accurate with the football. Guys like Mac Hollins stepping up in this offense that were big-time glue guys brought in this offseason that we knew were going to have an immediate impact, and they have.
Listen, Patriots are remarkable, and I think it's important to tie this in here with the Buffalo Bills getting spanked.
Yeah.
And to lose against Miami after you just beat Kansas City, and you had people like me saying, Bills are back.
Yeah.
Bills are back to beat the Chiefs. Everything's back in play in terms of the ability to win the AFC East, get the 1 seed. This is a crushing, devastating, kind of makes you reconfigure everything moving forward here, kind of defeats for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, well, it's so strange that the AFC power rankings read as such. Indianapolis first, Denver second, New England third, Pittsburgh fourth, Chargers fifth, and then we get Buffalo, Jacksonville, Kansas City, Baltimore. This is, what planet are we on, Adam Shine? But it's fun. It's fun to be a part of. It's fun to watch it. You know, you get some parity. You get some, any week, any team can beat anybody. We were all laughing about Josh Allen's ownership of the Miami Dolphins. That's all we do.
1-6 straight.
And then it's like, oh, no. They're not just going to lose. They're going to get,
They got killed.
Demolished a little bit.
And Josh turned
Miami
it over
Dolphins.
a couple times in big spots.
Drops,
ran it in.
Drops by big players, defensive lack of stops, getting the ball run on you at the end of the football game. You know, it really felt like Miami Dolphins did what they wanted to do with the football on the ground at the end of the game, and that ain't how you win games.
So let me combine a couple of things here, because Sean McDermott has won a lot of games, but if you're asking me which coach I trust more down the stretch of this season, it's clearly Mike Vrabel and not Sean McDermott.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that has to do with the coach, how much of it has to do with the players. You know, there's 53 guys on every roster, Adam, so to say it's one guy, but I would say Mike Vrabel has been monumental, massive in the locker room in New England, and you could just see it. And I talked about the confidence, betting on your players to have success. It just feels like that's kind of the vibe in New England right now. Yes, they love Drake May, and Drake May can make any throw, and he'll get you out of dodge on third down. He's fantastic. But Mike Vrabel, there's something about playing for a coach who has the utmost in confidence in his players that allows you to just let your freak flag fly. That's what we're seeing in New England.
Let me give you the schedule, because I think it matters. They have the Jets twice. They have the Bengals. They have the Giants. They have the Bills in New England. Remember?
After a bye week.
After a bye,
So
and they beat them earlier in the season.
Week 14 bye. And
right.
One thing I always looked at as a player is, when the hell is our bye week?
That's right.
What kind of team are we going to be, and when is our bye week? And
they have Baltimore and they have Miami as well.
Week 14 bye week is a great bye location. Then you get Buffalo at home after the bye week. So, I mean, you get to come up for air. And this is a team that hasn't been coming up for air. They've just been face down, freestyle swimming as fast as they can. Well, they're going to get the opportunity to rest up there, do some self-scouting. This Patriots team went from a group that's like, yeah, we can take them seriously, to now, you got to deal with the New England Patriots, bro. They're a real problem. Defensively, offensively, obviously the head coach, they find ways not to lose games. And I think that's important.
And I think the way you just framed that, and the way Drake May's playing, and the way Mike Vrabel coaches, and we give the schedule, and there's something amazing about these Patriots in terms of believability, and they can take care of business. Kyle, the Colts do have tough games remaining on their schedule. The Broncos' defense is terrific. That offense looks dreadful. The New England Patriots could end up getting the 1 seed.
Wow.
Not only just win the division this year, but the AFC could be going through Foxborough, Massachusetts.
That's crazy. What, they got that lighthouse up there? They're going to be nuts, okay? They've been waiting a long time for this. I think the last time they were in the playoffs was Mac Jones' rookie year. That would have been like 2021. But really, the meaningful playoff stuff was before then. They're going to get a taste of that again this year, whether they're the 1 seed or not. But if they do, if it does go through New England, that's a real home field advantage.
Let's get into Buffalo for a second, because this is crushing, it's demoralizing, it's inexplicable, it just simply put cannot happen. The inability to handle success and prosperity after that victory, which I thought was an ass-kicking against the Kansas City Chiefs. Forget the final score, right? 1-score game. I thought Buffalo beat up Kansas City in every possible way. Wasn't as close as the final score. To lay that kind of egg a week later, that all of a sudden, and the Bills have the Bucs coming up, and the Bucs are coming off a loss. They're obviously a well-conditioned, well-coached football team. Baker Mayfield's having a great season. That is a terrible loss for the Buffalo Bills. Can't happen.
And I feel like the Bills were a bit nerfed today. And by nerfed, I mean that torrential downpour in South Florida really has an impact on the passing game. You saw Dalton Kincaid out there, no gloves, dropping the football. And you have to think there's a trickle down, no pun intended there, for the rainy game.
I got it.
And the other thing I look at, looking backwards to your point about the Kansas City Chiefs game, they handled the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know in Buffalo, they get up for the Kansas City game.
Great point.
And, you know, I don't want to say that you could see this one coming, because I picked the Bills to dominate today.
Same.
But it's not very surprising that after their regular season Super Bowl game, they had a letdown.
But it's alarming. If
is.
you can't go on the road and
If
you
you're
own
a
this
Bills
team,
fan.
They just fired their GM. They traded one of their best players. Mike McDaniel's on the ultimate hot seat. Tua has historically struggled big time against the Buffalo Bills. This is as damning a loss. Look, you could make the case of any team in the NFL. We could talk even Carolina losing against New Orleans today, the Packers losing against the Browns or losing against the Panthers. What happened with this is the worst loss for any football team this season.
Yeah, and it feels like, you know, I was in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, and like the guy just doesn't lose to the Raiders. You know, he doesn't lose to the AFC.
That's a great point.
And, you know,
great point.
Sometimes the Raiders will sneak up on you. And I feel like that happened today. Maybe they didn't take their opponent seriously and they got punched in the mouth. Champ Kelly, the interim GM in Miami, I have to think that them making the move of parting ways with Chris Greer, getting a guy like Champ Kelly in there, a fresh face, fresh voice, maybe that turned over a new leaf for this team. Maybe we're talking about the wrong team. We should be talking about the Dolphins, because when I watch Patrick Paul out front in the 4-minute mode, smashing faces at the second level, Devon Achane going for like 250 today, those are great players. They have the ability to be a good football team. But the Bills today, they took them lightly, and you saw what happened.
He's Kyle Long. I'm Adam Shine. We'll talk to you soon, CBS Sports.